Plaintiff Beth Trejo says she was good friends with the defendant. And when Beth became pregnant at the age of 13 as a result of being raped, the defendant was there for her. Beth says the defendant went on to become a stripper and became involved with a crackhead, and Beth is suing her today for a loan. Defendant Catherine Stankowski says prior to Beth being raped, they were both living a dangerous lifestyle. Catherine admits that she was a stripper, but says her drug-addicted boyfriend forced her to do it to support his habit.
Start with you.
Well, me and Katie have been friends for 20 some odd years. We've been best friends, just like sisters. We pretty much grew up in the street life.
Doing what?
Drinking, smoking weed. Unfortunately, when I was 13, a lot of that changed for me. I was kidnapped and raped.
Oh my God. Oh, sorry to hear that.
And I became pregnant from that rape. When I was 14, I had my daughter, and I decided to keep her and raise her. During that time, Katie was the only one that knew I was pregnant. She kept my secret, I guess. My mom didn't even know. Fortunately, when I was 13, a lot of that changed for me. I was kidnapped and raped.
Oh my God. Oh, sorry to hear that.
And I became pregnant from that rape. I had my daughter, and I decided to keep her and raise her.
Plaintiff Beth Trejo is suing a former friend who claims she was forced to strip by a drug-addicted boyfriend.
Go ahead.
But then I knew keeping my daughter, I had to make grown-up decisions.
Change your life.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Katie didn't follow. She went on to marry a guy who was twice her age. When that went wrong, she called me, and of course I went and moved her out. Then she became a stripper and got involved with a crackhead. And
those two don't go together. And one crackhead can't go and see her. He can't afford to go see her. Strip.
He forced me to strip to pay for his drug habit.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So one day she called me and she said, "He hit me. Can you come and take me? It's the middle of the day. He's coked out." So I went to her house, which is very dangerous because the guy was crazy. So we moved her out in the middle of the day while this guy was coked out. And then another time she disappeared to California with a truck driver, which ended up being a drug dealer. And of course, when she got in trouble there, the person who she called was me. So,
you all right over there? Look like you stumbled or something. Go ahead.
So she called me and she told me she was in trouble and she didn't have any money to get back to Milwaukee. So, of course, I went and bought her a bus ticket. Tell me why she gets off in Wyoming and takes to Gary, Indiana with another truck driver.
That's her thing.
Then I had to rent a car, worry about her as I'm driving all the way down to Gary, Indiana to save her. She makes a lot of irresponsible choices.
Go ahead, tell me about yourself and about her, and then we'll get to the loan she's suing for.
Well, this is going to sound crazy, but since she brought it up, the tragic incident that happened to her, getting raped and pregnant from that rape, actually, she says it didn't, but it did change both of our lives. We were both living very dangerous lives at the time, walking the street all hours of the night. We were partying a lot. We were 14 and drunk every weekend. But if it wasn't for her having that happen, we both would have ended up as statistics. We wouldn't be standing here before you.
You'd be a statistic if it wasn't for me.
Granted, she has helped me out a lot in my life, and I have made a lot of bad decisions. I have. I admit that. But she's always, yes, I have a bachelor's degree in criminology, although I can't find a job because I'm too afraid to get a driver's license.
You can take the bus down to the courthouse. But go ahead, if that's your excuse. You can't use your bachelor's degree because you don't have a driver's license. Good enough. What else you want me to know?
But not that I'm jealous of her life or anything, but everything has always come so easy for her. She's been in the same job for as long as I can remember. She takes very good care of her kids, and you know, she hasn't had to struggle like I have. I have had to do what I have to do to.
Sounds like she overcame more obstacles than you, because this woman has been sexually assaulted and kidnapped, and that would debilitate many folks mentally from pursuing and achieving their goals and being able to do all the things you just mentioned. They are more likely to become a drug addict or a crackhead, and she hasn't. So I'm proud of what you overcame.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you getting your degree as well. Congratulations as well. That's a lot. Not too many people are able to lead a street life and get a degree.
Plaintiff Beth Trejo is suing a former friend who claims she was forced to strip by a drug-addicted boyfriend.
What's the unpaid loan you're suing for? $1,000. Okay. What happened?
September of 2010, she came to me and she asked me for a $2,000 loan. I told her I couldn't do that. And I told her, I said, what's the lowest you can go? She said she needs $1,000 to pay rent. Otherwise she was going to get kicked out. So I took the money and I gave it to her. I was going to give it to her in a check. Actually, I was going to give it to the landlord in a check. But then she told me that the landlord will not accept a check from her anymore because she bounced one with him. So I went and I got the money and I gave it to her. And then she told me that she would start paying me back the following month, and then pay me $50 or whatever she can until she gets her taxes, and then pay me off. 2 weeks later, she came to me and then she said, things aren't going well. I'm not getting paid enough. Can I pay you at my taxes? I told her, fine, as long as I'm the first one you pay. And then since then, I haven't received anything.
That's not true.
Yeah, you know the game. You know the tax return game. You're from the street. Go ahead.
We never had discussed a set arrangement for payback. It was always, you know.
All right, when did you intend to pay it back?
We discussed, I said that, you know, when I get my taxes back, depending on what I get.
Everybody tells that lie. Then what?
And then my father passed away, and I had to use my taxes to pay for his funeral.
Is that
I went to her and I told her.
Is that true?
Yes, but she never told me ahead of time. She told me after all of the money was spent.
All right, go ahead.
I went to her and I told her that I had to use the tax money to pay for my father's funeral, and that, you know, we would work something else out. She said, I understand, you know, you're in a tight spot right now, you know, just make sure that I'm the first person you pay back when you get back on your feet again. I have still not been able to get back on my feet.
All right. She admits to owing you. And, you know, you got a bachelor's degree, man. You know, all this, you can't get a job because you don't have a driver's license. You come to Detroit, and I'll help get you a job in the criminal justice area, because that's where you got your bachelor's degree.
I'll take you up on that.
Judgment for the plaintiff.
I just wish it didn't come to this. You should have at least offered 20, 50, 10.
I didn't even have that much to offer.
But you got $1,000 worth of shoes, right?
Do you think after all this, we can maybe get back to salvaging our friendship?
Maybe a small friendship, but I'll never borrow you money again.